Okay, and look, there's this ligament up here. Okay, so look, this is the liver. What's this ligament that's connecting the liver to the ventral body wall? Falciform ligament. So I'm going to cut down the sides of the diaphragm here. Remember, the diaphragm splits the thoracic from the abdominal cavity. So I'm going to break ribs, so if you don't like that, then so, one of the first things we want to notice, so I cut through, remember the sternohyoid way long ago? Now, I'm going to dig up this thing right here. What is this tube? Trachea. Okay, and I can tell because these cartilage rings. Okay, and then if I look over here, I can find a muscular tube. What do you think that is? It goes to the stomach. Yep, this is the esophagus. I'm going to pick away through some of this material in the chest. And there's all this chunky stuff here.
What is it?
This is the thymus gland. Okay? So it helps fight infection and, you know, does housekeeping in the chest area and around the heart.
Where was it?
It was right here. It's just all in the mesentery. So, and when we open up this pericardium here and look inside the heart, we'll find some, or inside the pericardium, we'll find some more. See all this stuff right here?
It's all
That's
like
all
chunky?
thymus, yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
In France, people eat it.
Why?
It's called sweetbreads. It's a delicacy. That's disgusting.
That is
That's why
disgusting.
I don't eat organ meat, because I know what it does. Okay, so we will be learning all of these vessels here, but this, just to give you a clue, this is the precava, or superior vena cava, and these two vessels leading into it from here are the vertebral arteries, and you can kind of follow them. They turn down and take blood from the vertebral column and bring it this way, brachiocephalic veins. Okay, so that's the chest cavity. These are the lungs, and the heart is in here inside the pericardium. We have the diaphragm, falciform ligament. You guys see all that? Falciform. What's this big thing? Liver, okay? Stinky balloon, right here. Gallbladder, okay? You can see it better on the underside. Oops. Here's the gallbladder. Okay, and the gallbladder actually dumps bile into the small intestine right about here. So if we dig through the small intestine, or the mesentery here, we can find, we'll find it next week when I have a little bit more time to pick around. But there's a duct coming from the gallbladder called the cystic duct, and it joins with another duct coming from the liver itself called the hepatic duct, and they join together in the common bile duct and dump all their bile into the small intestine. So this big bag right here that's full, please don't cut it open, guys, please. This is the stomach, okay? And the greater omentum here extends from the greater curvature of the stomach and covers all of the intestines. So associated with the stomach area on the greater omentum is this big thing here, which is the spleen, okay? So what I'm going to do is take up the greater omentum, okay? And I'm going to flip it over here, and I'm going to look for number 34, the epiploic foramen of Winslow.
It's always number 34.
Always number 34, it's right here. Okay, so right under the pancreas is the epiploic foramen of Winslow, number 34. Okay, it's just right in here.
Wait, where's the pancreas?
Okay, the pancreas, let me show you. So, look, here's the stomach. This big bag is the stomach. See how it curves around here? And look at, see the diameter of the stomach is thick. Look at how thin this tube is. That's the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. And right here is the pyloric sphincter. Okay? So, see how the duodenum turns down this way? The arm of the duodenum. Look at this pink chunky stuff in here. This is pancreas. Okay? Pancreas, pyloric sphincter, in the arm of the duodenum. Okay, so the duodenum turns down. Look at all the pancreas. All right, and then the intestine, small intestine, starts to get all curly, and that's where the jejunum and the ileum are. But if we extend it all out, we see that in the curves of the small intestine, the jejunum and the ileum, is this mesentery here. This is the lesser omentum. Okay, all of the vessels, see these pink vessels coming from the small intestine, are absorbing all the nutrients in the small intestine and bringing them to this area right here. So look at this chunk in the middle of the lesser omentum. See this chunk right here? That's called the pancreas ocelli. Okay? The pancreas ocelli is just a group of lymph nodes in the lesser omentum. And that's where all of that nutrient blood is filtered. Okay? So that should not be confused with the actual pancreas, which is in the arm of the duodenum here. Okay? So now we need to tell the difference between, we need to know where the stomach is, the ileum, which is the last part of the small intestine, and the duodenum. So we know where the duodenum is because the pancreas is right there. The ileum is the end of the small intestine. And in order to find that, we have to identify the large intestine. So the large intestine, or the colon, has 3 different parts. It has this ascending part here. It has a transverse part that goes from one side to the other. And then it has this descending part that disappears here behind the urinary bladder. Okay, so this part that disappears, the part that disappears behind the urinary bladder is called the rectum. Okay, and then the outshoot is the anus. So what I'm going to do is work backwards. So this is the descending colon. I'm going to look up here, transverse colon, and then ascending colon. The ascending colon starts here. Okay, so look at, this is the ileum. See how thin the diameter is? This is the ascending colon. Look how thick it is. Also at the junction between the ileum and the ascending colon is this little hang-off part, this little nub. It's called the colic cecum, right here. Okay, it's up on the board somewhere. Right there, up on top. Some of them. Okay, so colic cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon. Rectum behind the urinary bladder.
So we need to determine whether it's transverse or ascending or descending.
Yeah, it will be laid out like this so that you can tell.
See the whole thing.
Yes. Okay, so I believe that's it for the guts. Yeah.